Baba, now let us look at the angel and Hagar. What really happened between them?
It's very simple. Okay. We are going to go to the board.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what the star represents.
Okay.
We spoke about the star when we're talking about the Christ and the Antichrist.
Right.
Now we are coming to the Antichrist version of it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then you will see how the star looks like. Then you understand things. When Abraham was talking about the goats, the sacrificial of the goats, you understand the lower goat and the higher goat.
Papa Joe said, why in the can share Christ and Antichrist now? Mestre say, Obekono akwa share ni kakra. If we say hono Baba ekire niyama kwanye buy Antichrist no e buy ne Christ and so e buy. Na okire mu say Christ e free Ishmael Isaac ase and Antichrist no e free Ishmael ase ye Hagar and represent Ishmael. It is Sarah ejina homa Christ, Samson Isaac and sujina homa Christ. Hagar ejina homa Antichrist, Ishmael sujina homa Antichrist. It no Baba ebe ko board ni so no acheche mu ye e de ache mestre say so obo ase ne tie.
So let's make this very, very simple, okay? What I'm about to show you is only two things inside of this world, okay? The original imprint of everything, okay, which is like one thing that is able to connect to what source energy is. Source energy is the energy of what balance is, okay? Everything that exists in its equilibrium form is what source is. And for you to be able to connect to the energy of source, you need the energy of love. Everything inside of this world that operates on the energy of growth and the energy of creativity is expressed in a particular form of what love is. Love that deals with unconditions, love that understands the interconnectedness of you and then every other thing inside of this world that has life. Okay?
Right.
It's very simple like that. And then we have the unoriginal, okay? The unoriginal kind of energy that is extracted from source, and then which is the energy of hate, okay, which is the energy of an unbalanced form of yourself.
Okay.
You understand? There are two reflected forms of what source energy is. Source energy in its particular essence is energy. Energy has no good, energy has no evil. Okay, it's the transmutation of these particular energies, and the transmutation of the energy is what the soul does. The soul is you. You the one that is experiencing this particular reality. You the one that is experiencing the fear. You the one that is experiencing the jealousy. You the one that is experiencing the joy, the happiness. Every single one of anything that you call an emotion is experienced through what the soul is. Now, there are souls, then there are souls. There are souls that are soulful. Soulful simply means that they have a greater percentage when it comes to the way that they feel around this world. They have a greater percentage when it comes to their connectivity with everything that has life. Okay? That is soulful beings. And we have the soulless. Soulless. Okay? They have a smaller percentage when it comes to their feeling and how they see and then interact with their environment. They don't trust things. They don't follow their intuition. They don't listen to what fate is. They decide to be like, okay, this is the way in which I've seen the road and everybody must follow this particular kind of road. Okay? Those are the soulless. You think much more than you actually do with feeling. So you become soulless. Okay? It's always the original version. This is source energy. And there's always the original imprint on this side. And then there is the reflected form on the other side. Okay? That is what the human being is. That is what you are. The entirety of creation evolves around people that are soulful and people that are soulless. Okay?
Wow.
So that is what the Christ consciousness is. When you talk about Christ consciousness and the anti-Christ consciousness, like the way you have clockwise rotation and then you have anti-clockwise rotation, it's the same thing. Everything always working in its positive and then its negative aspect. One side is negative, the other side is positive. And then to be able to understand yourself as the spirit essence that you are, you have to be able to put yourself in the middle of the balance between the upper realms and then the lower realms. That is what percentage is about. Okay?
Right.
You have to understand to put yourself in the middle. It's not about involving yourself with worldly materials. It's not about involving yourself fully into the spiritual self. Because if you are fully immersed into what they tell you that, oh, this person is a pure person, you are a saint, Jesus Christ was a saint. No. If you are a saint, then you are still existing in source energy. And if you are source energy, then you don't have a form. Did Jesus have a form or not? He has a form.
Yes,
He
has
had
a
one
form.
head, he had 2 hands, he had 2 legs, just like you.
Right.
That is a form. And when you pick a form, then you either vibrate at an energy of being a soulful being or vibrate an energy of being a soulless being. And this soulless being, I told you, it deals with your energy centers, which are the chakras, will determine the amount of feeling that it comes inside of you and how you relate with everything else. So when it comes to the anti part of yourself, represented in the percentage, you are in the middle. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You are in the middle. Okay? Positive, negative, good and evil, left and then right. Both of them represent what the spirit, the entirety of the spirit is. Okay? I've said this a couple of times. All right? So I am now going to explain, okay, what the Christ represent as the star, because every single one of you is a star inside of this world.
Right.
You are a star. Okay? So you being a star simply means that you are a soul, but there are 2 forms of souls that exist. The soulful being and then the soulless beings.
Okay, Baba. Let me try and, explain this in a short form. Deɛ Baba ɛkaeɛ no ase no. Me pese me kyerɛ mu kakra na munya mu ntiaseɛ. Deɛ Baba ɛpa hyɛ nyinaa ɛne sɛ yɛka Ishmael ho asɛm na ɛba ne sɛn na Ishmael ho asɛm ɛba bɛwie ha. Ansa na yɛbɛtumi ate Ishmael asɛm no ase yie ɛne Isaac asɛm no ase yie no, Baba pɛ sɛ ɔma yɛhunu the very foundation ahyɛseɛ ne kwan a ɛba a yɛbɛnya antichrist ɛne Christ. Na ne fapem no gyina hɔ sɛ abɔdeɛ nyinaa firi ɔbaadeɛ ne nkyɛn. Na ɔbaadeɛ nim no yɛnim papa yɛnim bɔne. Ɛyɛ ahoɔden nko a ɔbaadeɛ no ahoɔden nko a ɔbaadeɛ no every time biara no ɔwɔ ne balance state mu. Na ɛyɛ wo na waba asase so na wapeke form no. Wo na ahoɔden na wanya firi ɔbaadeɛ wo ne hɔ no. Wo na wode bɛkyerɛ sɛ wode bɛyɛ papa anaa wode bɛyɛ bɔne. Deɛ ɛyɛ papa no ɛyɛ wɔn mo a anaa ahoɔden ɔbaadeɛ no ahoɔden a ɛkyerɛ ɔdɔ. Deɛ ɛyɛ bɔne no ɛyɛ ɔbaadeɛ no ahoɔden a ɛkyerɛ ɛtan anaasɛ hate. Na mmom ne nyinaa mu no adeɛ biara yɛwɔ original ɛne yɛwɔ unoriginal anaasɛ imitation. Ɔbaadeɛ sum no na ahoɔden no ama sɛ ɛbɛyɛ papa anaasɛ bɔne. Na mmom no ɛsiane sɛ nnipa bebree naa no ɛtumi fa ɔbaadeɛ ahoɔden a ɛte wɔn mu ɛtumi de yɛ ade papa nti no na ɛno aba abɛyɛ the original version. Obi nso bɛtumi afa ahoɔden korɔ na wadane ahoɔden no de ayɛ ade bɔne. Na ɛno aba abɛyɛ unoriginal. But ɛsiane sɛ yɛka Abraham ɛne Ishmael ne Isaac ho asɛm nti no Onyankopɔn apam a ɔne Israel Isaac Abraham ɛkɔɔyɛ a Isaac efiri Abraham mu no anka ɛno no mu yɛ original aspect no a ɛkyerɛ ɔdɔ no. Saa ɔdɔ no na Sarah ɛda n'adi no. Ɛna deɛ ɛyɛ unoriginal no ɛna Hagar ɛda n'adi na ɛyɛ hate no. Na saa hate ni mu ɛna ma Ishmael ɛnso bɛfa saa hate anaasɛ Hagar se ɛbɛfa saa hate no. Nti no deɛ Baba ɛpa kyerɛ nyinaa ne sɛ wo a wobɛfa ahoɔden no ɔbaadeɛ anaasɛ apam no a Nyankopɔn ne Abraham ɛfa yɛ no wo a wobɛfa de ayɛ ade papa no woyɛ soulful being. Yɛka soulful being a ɛyɛ ɔkra a ɔwɔ ɔbaadeɛ no atenka anaasɛ ɔdɔ ɛde ma ne ho anaasɛ abɔdeɛ. Na mmom no abɔdeɛ a anaasɛ nipa a anaa wɔn ntumi nya ɔdɔ na mmom wɔn nya tan ɛde ma abɔdeɛ a atwa wɔn ho ahyia no wɔn nso so yɛfrɛ wɔn soulless beings wɔn atenka ne wɔ fam. Na deɛ nti a Baba ɛka saa ne sɛ ɔbaadeɛ ahoɔden no a ɛyɛ Onyankopɔn tumi yɛ tena nipa ne mu no ɛwɔ yɛ chakras ne mu. Obi wɔ hɔ a ne chakras ne nyinaa blɔke. Iti no sɛ ɔyɛ ne nyɔnko ade bɔne a ɔnte anaa mpo ɔnhu mpo sɛ ɔyɛ ade bɔne
Yeah.
ɛno nti no ɔmo yɛ soulful beings no ɔmo chakras no ɔbɔ adeɛ ahoɔden no a ɛtete ɔmo mu no ɛbie ama ɛno nti no ɔmo te onyame ne ɛtumi de yɛ ade pa na mmom ɔmo a ɔbɔ adeɛ tumi ɛte ɔmo mu no ɔmo ahyɛ ne so na ɔmo mfa ahoɔden no ɛmfa nyɛ ade pa no na mmom ɔmo de yɛ ade bɔne a ɛyɛ hate no ɔmo ahoɔden no ɛte ɔmo mu nada ɛno nti yɛfrɛ ɔmo soulless beings nti deɛ baba kaeɛ no nyinaa no n'asekyerɛ ɛno no nti baba ɛbɛtoa so baba will continue for us to get the innermost understanding.
So Christ is the Lord of the world, or Christ is the light of the world. When you look at you as a star, I told you what a star represents. You in this physical dimension, you are a star. Every single one of you is a star. Okay? This is a representation of what a star is. Now, this is what the energy is, or this is what represents source energy. Source energy is the gap between soulful and then soulless, negative and then positive, go and then come. Okay? When you are always putting energy in one particular aspect or trying to interpret it in one particular form, you will not get the fullest understanding of what it means. Because you understand that this particular thing that you people call the yin yang, okay, which is like the two, the one here and then the black here, the white and then the black representation of what you are. The middle part of this is the energy. Okay, the left part of it, this is the star as this one, and the right part of it is another form of star. We are coming to understand this in deeper context, what it actually represents.
Right.
Okay? All right. So this is the representation of the soul. This is the representation of what the soul is inside of this particular world. Okay? When you pick the same particular soul, you have arms. These are your arms. Arms is A. Arms is A. Leg and then leg. This is L and this is L. And this is your head. Okay? That's 5. If you are representing what Allah is, I made it very clear that Allah isn't a consciousness that is outside of this particular world. Allah is recognizing the one supreme being, invisible inside of your own self, yet have the knowledge of everything that exists inside of this world. That is what Christ consciousness is. That is you as Allah from the within. Okay.
Right.
That is what the Muslims refers to as Allah. Allah is this. When you pick this and then you reflect it of what Allah is, then you will get the Allah that is demanding worship from everyone inside of this world. You would understand the Jesus, or you would understand the ways of men that are demanding worship outside of this world, which is like the pagan way, okay, of acknowledging God.
But Baba, I want to find out, and I'm sure the viewers also want to find out, how did you get Allah?
Yes. How do I get Allah? Okay, so let's make this thing very simple, okay? So this is how I got the Allah. I want you to listen to this very carefully, okay?
Right.
I told you people that when it comes to what each of the letters represent inside of your being, it represents a particular energy that is carried. And you as a being, you are divided into 2 particular forms, okay? These particular forms represents the left aspect part of yourself and the right aspect part of yourself, and the middle part of yourself, which is what you call the spine. That is the beginning frequency of what source energy is. Okay, everything inside of this world rests in the middle of life. Life is that one particular string through which every timeline sprouts into being. I explained this.
Right.
So this particular timeline is what differentiates the left part of you and the right aspect part of you. When you look at what an L is, if we are going to go deeply, okay, into what each of these particular letters represent, it is going to take in a different topic altogether. But I will just summarize a little bit into it.
Right.
Okay. L is the same thing as 7. Okay. A is the same thing as a V. Okay. And if you look at your arms, it's only telling you the reflected form or the original form of things as to what it is reflected as. Okay. L is the reflected form of 7. When you turn L into the other side, it becomes a 7.
Right.
When you turn A onto the other side, it becomes a V. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like me explaining to people about the 4. The ether starting from E here, the energy starting from here, and then came here to become 3. Starting all the way from here as a W, going here and becoming an E. That is what I explained to you about the north, south, east, and then the west. The last time that we spoke about the alpha and then the omega.
Right.
Okay. So when you are talking about Allah, you are talking about the divinity that exists inside of your body. The acknowledgement of the one thing that is invincible, that has no shape, that has no form, and yet represents and then sees, knows everything inside of this particular world. The whole of existence. That is why the Muslims, you baptize yourself 5 times in a day. Because you understand that each of these particular points of yourself represents a holy aspect, a holy crypt, or a holy half or quarter part of the entire thing of what you represent. Because if you take this star and then you break it down into its 5 particular forms, you will have a V facing here, you will have another V facing there, you have another V facing up, and you have another V facing down. Do you understand?
Right.
These are the legs, and then the arms, and then the head. When you look at what the head is each. Each representing one side of you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Each representing an aspect part of you. So your arms on this side is the reflection of this arm on the other side. This leg on this side is a reflection of that leg on the other side.
So the ALLAH is still talking about the head, the arm, the leg, another arm,
and
then
the head.
And then the head.
So it's like the way energy moves. Energy moves this way, goes that way, and then it goes in again. Then energy falls back again, then it moves. It's like that. It is explaining this. Your electromagnetic field that I was talking to you about, the infinite movement of what energy is. That is what Allah is.
Right.
Okay.
So the star is a representation of Allah.
Yes.
At the same time, the star is a representation of we human beings, because we represent God or Christ consciousness.
You
or
are
Allah.
physical. Your physical form of what the star is your bodies. You having a physical vessel. And when it comes to its representation of the spirit, is the holy self. You are holy. Allah is holy because the one that exists inside cannot be touched. It can only be felt. You understand?
Right.
And every single one of the prophets that came by and then went, they all explained the way through which they discovered God by a way of feeling. Okay? By way of feeling. So Allah exists inside of yourself. To understand Allah is to listen to the voice of yourself. To understand Allah is to find peace.
Okay. So this represents the Christ consciousness.
Yes.
It represents Allah.
Yes.
Now, when we are talking of the, you made mention of the fact that you're going to explain who Sarah summoned, and then how the inverted aspect of that is.
Yes.
And so, can you quickly touch on? You've now explained to us what the original Christ consciousness is, which is Allah, or God frequency. You've explained it. Now, what is the inverted aspect of the God frequency?
Okay. So this is it. When you look at what this star is, okay, to just understand it, I told you immediately a negative aspect part of yourself exists on the left. If it crosses to the right, it becomes what?
Positive.
A positive charge.
Or from positive to negative.
From positive to negative, from negative to positive. It has always been like that. Okay. So when it comes to the negative aspect part of what the star represents, is this. Hey, Charlie, my star there. My star there, Charlie. Supposed to win award. Okay. This becomes a reflected form of it. Now the head is down. Now the head is here. And the legs are up. And the arms are here. Okay. This is the head of what you people call the Baphomet.
Oh.
The good. This is the head of the good.
So the head becomes the chin. The
head shall become the tail, and the tail shall be the head. This is what God was talking about. The head shall become the tail. That is what the devil is saying. And the tail, which is them, shall become the head on top here to rule you.
So you have 2 horns.
You have 2 horns.
You have 2 ears.
You have 2 ears.
And then 1 chin.
And then 1 chin.
Representing Baphomet.
Representing Baphomet. Representing Christ. It's always the same thing. The devil and then the angel. Jesus and then the devil. Left and then right. It's always like this. They pick the information of the original representation of what Abraham spoke to God about, which is this, a star. And then they turn the star. Hagar turned the star upside down.
So Hagar was able to summon the angel.
Yes, he was able to summon this particular being.
Wow.
This particular being encompasses everything that you call malevolence. Every energy that is hostile to soulful people is malevolent energy. And this energy only feeds on one thing, hatred.
So, Baba, are you saying that the current religion we have, because this is the beginning of religion?
Yes.
So the current religions we have, most of them, so are you saying that our religions are built on hate?
Your religion is built on pure intent that is covered by hatred. Okay? The original form of every form of prophet or every form of a messenger that came is to tell you about this and warn you about this.
Just as we read in the Quran earlier on, indicating that yes, in as much as there's divine essence, there's also going to be the corrupted ones.
Yes. There's also going to be the corrupted one. So the messengers came to tell the information about seeking Allah from the within of yourself, whilst warning you of the reflected form of Allah on the outside of yourself. Because they are all interconnected. Okay? They are all one and then the same, existing as what source energy is. When you draw the Baphomet, okay, or the star that is facing upwards, hey Charlie, the day I go master drawing there. You see, it is like this. This is this one. Now, if you are drawing a star that is on top, okay, that is this star, it becomes like this. This is one, okay, which is already picking the form of 2. Picking the form of this. Okay. This becomes a 10-pointed star. The ones and zeros.
Wow.
This is a you can Google a 10-pointed star. Leave me alone. This is 10. Okay. That represents the left part of yourself, the right part of yourself, your physically manifested form, okay, which is the spirit, and then your earthly form, which is the Baphomet. When you add these 2 together, you get the alpha and then the omega as the plus. Okay?
Okay. Baba, let me summarize what you just said. Okay. Baba, din komona udino. Ni kan ye pa. Mame mo ne tofa de waka no. Baba pa kyerɛ say. Ahoden na efiri obo ade mu no. A egyina ho de ma yɛn a yɛn nsoroma yɛ wa asase so no. Sɛ wo dane nsoroma na wobenya etire no bɛba fam. Na etire no ɛbɛba fam na ɛtoɔ no akɔ etire no baabi etire no wɔ. Ɛno nti na Bible ne ka sɛ na wɔn a wɔgye Nyankopɔn die no adeɛ nyinaa bɛdi abɔm na wie wɔn yie. But asase so yɛ wasɛm bi a yɛka sɛ deɛ odi kan no ɛbɛba toɔ anaasɛ deɛ ɔwɔ toɔ no ɛbɛkɔ soro. Ne fapem ɛne ɛyɛ nsoroma na ebutu ne ti no a etire na ba fam no ama ɛnan ne mom akɔ soro no. Na baba airdraw no wotumi hu sɛ nsoroma na sesa prekopɛ. Adeɛ a nanka ɛwɔ ne nyamesum no sisi a na bɛyɛ sɛ apɔnkye. Na yɛka sɛ apɔnkye a apɔnkye ne gyina hɔ ma honhom a yɛfrɛ ne Baphomet. Na bɛbɛn ne mienu, na so ne mienu, wahu na bɔdwe sɛ. Na saa honhom wei yɛ honhom a baba ɛpɛ sɛ ɔman yɛte aseɛ sɛ ɛno na Sarah ɛnam ne yaw mu ɛde frɛ Hagar Mr. Mumufanchem Hagar. And nam Hagar Yaumuno, or the freye, ewo esreneso. Na ne fapem ni nyinaa ne sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔde tua apam no a Nyankopɔn ne Abraham ɛwɔ no. Ɔpɛ sɛ ɔde tua Isaac so ka. Ɛno ɛna ɛma yɛfa so a yɛde nya ɔsom. Ɛno nti nsoroma no a ɛgyina hɔ a ɛwɔ benkum so no, ɛno nanka asomafoɔ a ɛbaeɛ no ɛbaeɛ sɛ nka ɔmo ba bɛka ho asɛm kronkronkronkronkron. Sɛ ɔmo bɛka yɛ nyamesu a ɛte yɛ mu ɛho asɛm na yɛhunu kwan a sɛnea Abraham ne Nyame nanteeɛ no yɛn nso yɛtumi adu saa mpɛmpɛnsoɔ no. Ɛnso ɛsiane sɛ Hagar ɛdane nneɛma butuiɛ na ɛno na ɛbɛyɛ ɔsom a ɛkyerɛ Nyame a ɔwɔ abɔnten ɛso n'ase no nti no ɛnnɛ ama yɛadane ɛkwan a Nyankopɔn faa so a ɔne Abraham ɛde nante yɛne nokora a ne wɔ mu no ɛnnɛ ama yɛnhu mu nokorɛ. Asom ni bi ɛbɔ ɔmo ho mmɔden sɛ ɔmo bɛma yɛhunu nokorɛ no. But dodoɔ naa no ade adane no asɛ nokorɛ ne bata ho na you know ɛntrɔ nso so ɛtɛ akyire. Ɛno nti mɛsrɛ sɛ mobɛma yɛto yɛ bo ase na yɛhunu sɛ ɛnnɛ no wosom Nyame a yɛka sɛ Kristo anaasɛ Christ consciousness anaasɛ wodi Yeshua n'akyi a wodi ɔbɔ adeɛ no ahoɔden ne napam a ɔne Abraham ɛkɔyɛ n'akyi a mɛsrɛ sɛ wobɛto wo bo ase yie no wahwehwɛ wo nyamesu ɛyie no wahwehwɛ deɛ baba di kan ka ho asɛm sɛ ɛno na yɛbɛnya Christ wɔ mu yɛbɛnya Allah wɔ mu true worship no yɛbɛnya deɛ ɛwɔ mu no wahwehwɛ ɛno akyira kwan.
So I'm going to take this thing again. Please listen up and listen very carefully. Okay? This is as plainly as I can put it for those of you that understand English. The way in which Doctor has interpreted it in the tree is exactly what the information represents. There's always truth in every lie, okay? In every information that is presented to you, be it the Bible, be it the Quran, there's always truth. That is why the book has two sides. It has one side on this and one side on that. And for you to have any level of interpretation or any level of growth within yourself, you have to be the middle of the book. You understand? You don't have to take the sides of Christians. You don't have to take the side of Muslims. It's about understanding what it means to be a Christian and understanding what it means to be a Muslim. You can only do that by representing yourself in the middle of the book. When you choose either the left side or the right side, you will still not see the complete version of what the book represents. Do you understand? It's the same thing that we are talking about here. The stars, there are two forms of stars. Okay. The star that we all know is this star. The star that everyone inside of this world is familiar with is this particular star. Okay. And the star in which we are not, or most of us aren't familiar with, is this particular star. Okay. These are the same stars. They are made up of 5 single vertices or cardinal points in each. Okay. Now, I'm going to represent it one after the other, and then you see how they flip the information. Okay. Now, this is head. The first part of it is head. The head is H. Okay. This is the head. Now, if you cross over this particular bridge, this is the middle of the book. Okay, this represents the middle of the book. If you cross over the book, this head becomes downwards, which becomes the head of this place.
So, Baba, when you say the head, you mean the scriptures?
Yes.
Either Quran, Bible, or any other religious book.
Any other religious book that exists inside of this world is talking about you. It's talking about what you represent. Because most of you don't understand. That is why I usually use science in order to interpret the information to a particular level that you understand what an atom is. Okay? When they talk about an atom being the smallest particle of an element. Okay? And the smallest particle of an element is what makes up your fire. An element is what makes up your water. An element is what makes up your earth element. Okay? These are elementals. These are immortals, okay? Energy in motion that does not die, okay? But they can be transmuted. So when it comes to the one that is transmuting these particular energies, it's you in the middle. Do you understand? You have to put yourself in the middle in order to understand the forms of God that exists, the immortal selves of what the fire, of what water, of what earth is. Okay? Because when it comes to every single one of your finger, even your nail, if they tell you the amount of atoms, okay, that comes together, okay, to bond in order to be able to create this particular little finger of yours, it will blow you out of your mind.
So when the head transitions into the other side,
Yes.
the head rather comes down.
Yes. This is the original form of what everything is. You gaining the awareness of your highest form. You being born into this world, okay, as God in a physical vessel is what this star is. Okay. Everyone is born with one head, two arms. This is your arm. Okay. This is another arm. This is a leg, and this is another leg. Every single one of us is born into this world like this. Okay. Everyone is born into this world. I will explain the coming of you from this world, you developing the fetus from steps, and how you usually turn from being the particular 9 etheric essence into being the 6 particular etheric essence. We'll explain that. But right now, what I want you to understand is that there are 2 aspect part of yourself that exist. You are the angel and you are the devil, but you are also the soul in between. And the soul in between is the heart. That is what is responsible for transmuting this particular energy. Be it that you are going to be turning positive from this side all the way to the other side, that makes it negative. All depends on you, the heart as the soul. Do you understand this one?
Right.
Okay. It's very simplified like this. So when you as the head, you as the one that is being the highest form of consciousness, as 9, begins to descend into the physical form, then you prostrate. Your head is always leading the first to come outside of this world. Babies only comes out into this world after they are 9 months old. Do you understand?
Right.
So immediately you turn your head from the top part of yourself all the way to the inverted form, then it becomes a V. It becomes the legs of a woman. Okay? It becomes the legs of a woman. This is the birth channel of the woman, and this is where the child is coming from. So that represents the horns of the Baphomet. A woman in delivery state will raise her legs and put it in this particular form before she can give birth. Okay?
Right.
So the highest form of consciousness is 9 here, and when you descend down to the other side, it becomes 6. On this side, the head was on top. On this side, the head came down. If you are on this side, that is the highest form of yourself. You are still existing as the light of the world. Okay? When you descend and pick a physical vessel, then you are talking about 6. You are talking about your carbon self. It's the reflected form. Once it crosses the bridge to the other side, it picks a new form.
And this was what Hagar was doing.
This
she was trying to be more physical.
Yes, not physical indeed, but she wanted something that allows her to gain control of what this particular 9 consciousness is.
Which is Abraham's covenant.
Lineage.
Yes, and the lineage.
You understand? All that she wanted to do was cause havoc, was make sure that whatever that God has bestowed that came to the sons of Israel, or that came through the bloodline of Abraham, wasn't able to maintain their soulful selves. You will not be soulful, but makes them soulless.
And she ended up summoning Baphomet.
Baphomet, like I said, is the entire collectivity of what your emotions as a lower self represent. Your heart is in the middle. There are 3 chakras beneath you. Your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and then your root self. Do you understand?
Right.
So these particular 3 angles, okay, that is what an A is. Okay. These are legs. This is one leg. This is another leg. That is what this star is. The 3 lower parts of yourself. This one deals with shame. When you take a particular action that you feel shame towards, it is something that you want to hide from people. And everything in this world that has to do with secrets, Let me hide this from this person. Let me hide this from this person. It's the exact same thing that the devil uses to keep you stuck in your old self.
That is why she couldn't maintain the original energy to summon the right energy from God, but she had to summon a different energy.
She was much interested for you to be able. God speaks to you like He speaks to everything else. Okay. But each time that you deviate from being in the middle, okay, you either involve yourself in a lower way of thinking, or you involve yourself mostly in a good way of thinking. If you are whispering yourself towards a negative way of whispering, the entities that are here that you call the devils, okay, they are the ones that whispers to you the most. They are the ones to tell you that continue fighting with Sarah. Do not surrender common blindness, or do not surrender your common logic to failing in an intuitive way. You have a son called Ishmael, and Ishmael is going to be a great member of a particular nation. So why should you bend your will onto this one? Meanwhile, the angels keep telling you that you are a slave of these people. You are a servant of these people. And the way through which you can be able to attain salvation for yourself is to follow through the house of Abraham.